This is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Tuesday. This is The Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 229. I'm your host, Sam Woo. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios as we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Good evening, good morning, good evening. Good afternoon, wherever you are. It's been a long day. It's been a long day in the sun. The heat wave continues, although it's supposed to cool down towards the end of the week here in beautiful New Jersey. As we're talking a little Devils hockey, talking a little hockey itself, World Juniors restarted, going on right now as we speak. Don't want to get into the results, but it's kind of a redo from what happened last winter. Team Slovakia, well, didn't exactly see I wanted to see two specific players. You know who I'm talking about, Slavkovsky and Nemec, not on the roster today's game. But still some hockey going on. If you go to NHL Network in the States, you can watch some World Juniors. Logan Cooley is going to be the big headliner for Team USA, I would assume. But you know what? Shouldn't they have World Juniors possibly in the summertime? Wouldn't that be better? Tell me what you think. YouTube Live, channel Let's Go Devils. Let me know on Facebook Live at Let's Go Devils Podcast and on Twitter at Let's Go Devils Pod. What are your thoughts? I don't mind having World Juniors in the summertime. I kind of like it. Some teams trying to make their mark. Any young players that you guys are looking at? Any young players on Team USA or Team Canada? Let me know what you think. Also, just a little rumor out there. I don't know. I don't know what to believe these leaks, but sometimes these leaks turn out to be true. Someone putting it out there about a Devils retro jersey. It's a concept right now. Using the old Kansas City Scouts color theme jersey with the Devils logo. Has anybody seen that? NJ Devil 1525. Good evening from Long Island. Let's go Devils. Yeah, let me know where you're from, everybody. Let me know where you're from. I'm from somewhere in New Jersey in the bunker right now. And the Devils retro jersey, using the Kansas City Scouts theme, it's not doing it for me. Don't know why. Some people like it. Some people like jerseys when they're really ugly. Like really, really ugly. But it's just not doing it for me. Not at all. Boy, looking on the live feeds right now, not getting many comments like we normally do. Seems like we're in the dog days of summer when it comes to hockey. NJ Devil 1525 says the colors are blah. Blah. And yes, they are. Again, I don't know if somebody's just trying to yank our chain or is this some kind of marketing gimmick? Or is this kind of a focus group thing? We'll put it out there, see what the fans, how they react. I mean, after the jersey, if you want to call it that, look, I liked everything about it except for one thing. That stupid jersey logo. It looks like it made the whole jersey look like, well, number one, it showed in my mind, and I know some people that likes that jersey, but it just, to me, it tells me that the Devils management are so out of touch with the fans, first and foremost. And then you just, again, I'm complaining about it again, and then you have Marty Brodeur that's vouching that it was his design. And it's like, come on, maybe so, but not really. It's probably, hey, Marty, you're on payroll, you better endorse this so we can sell some jerseys. I don't know. I mean, I like the history part, but then again, what kind of history are they talking about? A defunct team from the 1940s? But I think everything about that jersey design-wise was cool, except for one simple thing. All they had to do was put that same color scheme and put a Devils logo right in front. It looks like a hack Jersey Shore boardwalk, generic jersey. Are they marketing to New Jersey Devils fans, or are they marketing to the mass audience that would buy it in a store in Nevada? I don't know. But if we're up to me, I would love to take that jersey and rip off that logo that says Jersey and then have the Devils logo in that color scheme to fit up front, fit in the front, the crest. And if I have about $600 or $800 to spare, I may actually have somebody do that. Tackle twill stitch the Devils logo on the crest on the front with that color scheme. I think it actually would look pretty good, pretty sharp at that point. It will look pretty badass, the Men in Black. Oh, all you had to do was one thing. If you look behind me on the video feed, that's a black Devils practice jersey back in 2004. All it needs is that logo. Eugene Hewitt says, I love the green and red home white jersey, preferably Captain Kirk's number. Captain Kirk Muller, number 9. Tell you what, those are the good old days, Eugene. I actually have an Alexander Seamock jersey. Pretty cool jersey. He wore number 20. One of my favorite players growing up, Alexander Seamock, if anybody remembers him. But, you know, what else could the Devils do retro-wise? I mean, it used to be, the Christmas tree jerseys were cool, especially back in the day, because after the changeover, they were rare to see. And then, you know, the Devils started doing all these reproductions. They're making money off of an old jersey from years ago. But now I see more of those jerseys, and it's like, did it lose its luster? I'm not sure. And then Gary D says, remember when Starter did the black jersey in the 90s? All they had to do was that, LOL. I'll tell you what, remember all those starter jackets? Oh, they were awesome. I totally wear one in today's age. I have my 6th grade jacket this is before the Devils redid that. I think in conjunction with Starter or Mitchell and Ness or whatever, but I had my 6th grade jacket. It was just like a green satin jacket with the Devils logo. Almost looked like somewhat of little bit of a varsity jacket, kind of, but had that green esque shiny jacket. Eugene Hewitt says, I remember Alexander Seamack. Yeah. Dougie Brown, remember those names? Randy Velishek. Love Randy Velishek. Before there was Scott Niedermeyer, there was Randy Velishek. Then he was on the radio. Remember he used to do the color commentary? And he had the softest voice. This is Randy Velishek. I couldn't imagine being the board op on WABC 770 radio when anytime Randy Velishek would talk, he has the softest voice. He's a nice man. Class act all the way. Love Randy Velishek. I wonder what he's doing, what he's up to. Love to get him on the podcast. Also in the Twitter news, Brat Pack starting to become a pretty good friend of the podcast. Brat Pack is selling out. He got these group tickets for November 15th as a discount and selling them on his Twitter account, going through a link, and they sold out within 15, 20 minutes. About 100 tickets worth, and then they added a 50 more. Brat Pack 63. The infamous Brat Pack, summer of 2022 on Twitter. Selling them, baby. Tells me that Devils fans are interested, hoping for a Devils complete rebuild. But you got to be happy that the Devils are at the cap, at the ceiling. But did they make good financial moves? Well, I think they have. They're not locked in any kind of bad contract that will hurt them long term, unless your name is Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton, which I doubt would be a bust. But the Devils have spent money right to the cap ceiling. And I always told my season ticket rep, once the Devils start spending, maybe I'll spend a little bit more. But how can you expect me to spend when they don't even spend on players? And it's a valid point from a season ticket holder. But now the ownership group gave the green light. They probably gave the green light a few years ago. It's just, if it's not there, I think Tom Fitzgerald's a smart GM not to take a bad deal, an albatross deal, unless the player's worth it, an impact player. Tom Fitzgerald tried with Goudreau and Kachuk. But New Jersey at the moment is not exactly a sexy name for any free agent or superstar that's looking to get traded. You don't see New Jersey on the top of the list. It's because we have to show that Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier can get the job done before you build a real team around them. I think Palat, the Devils overpaid. I think Dougie Hamilton, the Devils overpaid. But that's the price you have to pay when you have consecutive losing seasons, folks. And hopefully the Devils will turn around. Brad K says, USA, 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 quack, quack, quack. I'm not watching World Juniors right now, Brad, but tell me what's going on. I'm cheering for Logan Cooley. That was the guy I wanted in the draft, Logan Cooley. Logan Cooley, I hope Simone Nemitz is a stud, because Logan Cooley, I think, is also going to be a stud. But he committed to the University of Minnesota. I believe that's the school he committed to. for his freshman year instead of the Arizona Coyotes. But I'll tell you this, even though he's in Minnesota, Logan Cooley will be playing in front of a bigger crowd than the Arizona Coyotes next season, ironically enough. USA starts 10 p.m. Eastern. Takes on Germany. This is Brad K. NJ Devil 1525 says, wow, just saw Pacioretty will miss 6 months. Not good. Not good. On the NHL talk. Matt Freudenberger, how are you doing? How are you doing, Matt Freudenberger? I'm telling you, Logan Cooley is going to make, I just hope Simon Nemec is the real deal. Because I'm going to tell you, Logan Cooley, in my estimation, was the best player in the draft. In the entire draft. And some would argue, well, we already got enough centers. Yes, but you can't get enough centermen. We're loaded on defense, folks. Loaded on defense. Glad you're doing well, Matt Freudenberger. Trying to get through this summer. Talking a little Devils hockey. Talking about that Devils retro jersey that was leaked online. Don't know if anybody's pulling our chain or some kind of gimmick focus group, thing where they're just going to, we'll just leak something out and see what the fans think. But we're going to get together, especially opening night, Todd's Lounge 973, for the Devils take on. Who are they playing opening night? I'm drawing a blank. Help me out, folks. I know they're playing the Flyers opening night, which I am tentatively going to be in Philadelphia. So any of you Flyer fans or Devils fans that have Flyer friends down in Philly, I hope you meet me down there because I'll be broadcasting from a bar. The Red Wings, says Matt Freudenberg. Thank you. Forgot because somehow Chicago was in my head, but that's because of last year. It's the summertime blues, folks. It's tough doing this podcast every day, especially during the summer. But one thing we learned during the pandemic, the heart of the pandemic, that we can talk about 9.5 months of Devils hockey without any hockey is incredible. It's incredible. So we kind of figured it out. We kind of expanded our comfort zone, so to speak. We challenged ourselves. World Juniors going on, getting to see a little bit of hockey, which is good. About a month from now, folks, training camp starts for the New Jersey Devils. You betcha. And we're going to have different things for this podcast that we haven't had as we're going into our 5-year anniversary of our maiden voyage, season 1, episode 1. Look in the archives what that podcast was like. The entire time we were like, Beer Baron, can you hear me? Shorts guy, I can't see you. But the podcast took off. The podcast is just talking Devils hockey to a nice community called the New Jersey Devils fans. Dave Riley says, MBS, go Crimson. I'm telling you, all you folks that are listening up, listen to me. There's no other better prep school in New Jersey or in the United States for that matter than the Morristown Beer Crimson. Wonderful sports program. I'm tired of people talking about Del Barton. I'm tired. Even back in the day, I would go to a meeting and we would talk about high school hockey. It would come up in conversation. And they always ask me, oh, you're from Jersey. You know that school, Del Barton? Well, let me tell you a little secret about Del Barton. If it wasn't for the Morristown School, before it became co-ed, Morristown Beard, and the 1970s. It was the Morristown school that actually had to raise money for Delbarton to survive the Depression because that school almost went bankrupt. I almost want to yell at the alumni back in the 1930s. Why'd you do that? Now we got to deal with Delbarton. Sorry, that's just the animal in me. I'm talking high school hockey rivalries. Maybe one of these days we should talk about high school rivalries, hockey games. I've seen some very, very tense Morristown Beard and Delbarton games back in the day at Menon Arena. Actually, to tell you the truth, the chants that we used to chant out loud back in the mid-90s, I don't think you're allowed to even say any of those chants anymore. I don't know. I haven't been back to watch a game in a while, but back in the day, we used to chant a lot of stuff, a lot of shenanigans, which I would say is not really politically correct, but they were funny. They were funny. Let's see here. Looking at some of the comments. NJ Devil 1525 is agreeing with me. I like it when people agree with me. I also like it when people don't disagree with me. Big shout out to Dave Riley. If I remember going to school with a Colleen Riley. I think she played field hockey. But that was way back when. Hopefully she's doing well. Let me know, Dave. Also, Bruce Driver, Randy Velachek, part of the Morristown Beard hockey program, especially Bruce Driver and the girls team. Back in the day, there were no girls team, which kind of sucked because I knew a couple that played and there's just no program for the girls back in the day. But I'm glad that they figured it out because a good friend of mine who I graduated with didn't have the opportunity. And I think she would have been an awesome hockey player had she had the opportunity like her brothers did. My, has times changed. Well, folks, World Juniors is going on. Baseball's going on too. Football season is around the corner. We're talking about Devils retro jerseys. How about Devils win? Also, October 15th, it's going to be a big, big opening night. As the Devils take on the Red Wings. We'll be at Taj Lounge 97.3. The whole gang. I hope to see you all there. Even if you don't have a ticket to the game, come down. We'll be there. We'll do a live, game day live podcast. We've got a lot of different things going on for the upcoming season. And who knows, now that things are starting to wind down with this pandemic, I don't think it's a pandemic anymore, but I don't know. But we got to go on some road trips together, folks. Like, I'm going down to Philly opening night on October 13th. I hope to see some of you there. I think we should have a group meetup so we don't get killed by Flyer fans down in Philadelphia. I've got the bar set up. I just got to let them know. But if I could do a podcast, both Game Day Live and Devils After Dark, and you folks are coming down to Philadelphia, I'll show you a good time. I'll get the specials going. More beer for those that are 21 or older, for less money. That's what we're all looking at. That's what we're working with at Taj Lounge 973 as well. I said, look, the key to success in the restaurant business, especially outside Prudential Center, lower your beer prices and your alcohol than your competition. The people will come. They will come. And usually you come to our events, I'm DJing, We do a podcast. We do a little chanting. That's what we do. You never know who may show up at the podcast. But it's all good. It's all good, folks. Well, wrapping up, going to drop the podcast at midnight for your morning and afternoon commute. Tomorrow, I have to confirm this with Vinny Parisi. Nick Villano of pucksandpitchforks.com is on a business trip. So I think it's me and Vinny tomorrow for State of the Fan Address starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to try to hold the fort for Nick. Hopefully we don't embarrass ourselves. Because normally Nick would produce the show. And I haven't talked to Vinny yet, but we'll figure it out. That's what we always do here on the podcast. We'll figure it out. And, yeah. As we move along. Well, folks, I hit the music. This is the new Let's Go Devils Network. Over 1,000 podcasts on average a day. In your vehicle, you're listening to us. You're making us a part of your lives, of your Devils fandom. The Let's Go Devils podcast, the Woo Report, Game Day Live, Devils After Dark. Let's Go Devils podcast, Sunday edition, and State of the Fan Address presented by pucksandpitchforks.com. I hope to see you at the games. I hope you show up. I hope you get rowdy. It's only going to get better. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.